Rivalry week is in the books, and some teams had their last opportunity to prove to the committee that they are playoff worthy, and others, well, they have one more opportunity during conference championship week. Is your team in? And is Ryan Day's numbered? Find out on this episode of Overreaction Monday. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today I am the governor of college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. Downtown Nino Brown. Yes, sir. Welcome to another marvelous episode of Overreaction Monday. I am the governor of college football, and with me is a guy that needs no introduction, the mayor of college football, Downtown Nino Brown. Also with us tonight is a guy that pulls a lot of string behind the scenes, the senator of college football, my guy, D Now. Let's get into some rapid fire instant reactions. Syracuse, we talk about him in the green room, defeats Miami 42-38 and sends Clemson to the ACC championship. Nino.
I dropped out of school, started selling dog food, kept the biggest pistol even though it was a small dude.
Let's go!
50 shots on this this is my name, I'll get you smoked on the same day. We do a hit, and we hit your block the same way, baby. Yes, sir. That's Kyle McCord. That is how you Drew Lockett for everybody, and you go out there and Fran Brown it and put your stamp on it. My man was in the locker room dancing. Why? Because he outperformed Cam Ward, the guy that we all thought was going to be in the Heisman. Kyle McCord, 4,326 yards, led the nation, unzipped it, put it on the table, and let Ryan Day say, maybe I made a mistake, huh? Here's a not so popular opinion.
Said he led the nation?
He led the nation in passing yards. Yes, he did.
Did that.
Oh, I believe it. You did, sir. I believe you did, sir. Now, I'm going to put this non-popular opinion out there.
Uh-oh.
I'll take LaQuint Allen over Damian Martinez any day out of the week and twice on Saturday. Okay?
Yep.
Damn, Fran Brown, we just spoke about it, has become one of my top 5 favorite coaches in the game, and he's about to own the ACC moving forward. I know Clemson's going to be in a championship, but they might have got a little referee help. We'll just leave it at that.
Hey, bro, you came in smoke, and I love it. Georgia fights back from a 17-point deficit against Tech and wins at 8 OTs, 44-42. D, now talk to me.
I want to start. Actually, I want to hear Nino's answer to our guy Boomer's question.
He should be in it. He should be in the top 3. And I don't know if they will, because you know how the committees are. I think they're going to give it to the guy out in Miami, but my man McCord deserves every bit of it, and if he doesn't get it, I think it's a disservice to him.
It really is. Agree.
All right, so for Georgia Tech, I thought it was going to be one of those typical Georgia Tech games this year. They outplayed the higher ranked team like they did numerous times this year, but I think halfway through that third into that fourth quarter, they just kind of ran out of juice. I think they spent all the adrenaline early getting out to that 17-0 lead. And then I will say probably one of the coolest videos I've ever seen is that touchdown where he taps him on the head and the firework goes off.
Wow, bro.
That was spot on. That was spot on. I will say, though, I think Haynes King should climb up a lot of people's draft boards this offseason for what he did this season. Minus a few games he couldn't play because of injuries, he literally dragged Georgia Tech to where they are right now. I mean, against Georgia, he had 300 passing, 100-plus rushing, 4 or 5 touchdowns throughout the whole game. But like I said, I think they just ran out of juice, and Georgia was able to hang in there.
8 overtimes, bro.
Yeah, I was fighting to stay awake at 7. I'm not going to lie, but I managed to stay away.
I got a question for you, and I kind of backed up Moon before we get into the next rapid fire. Is there a chance that Hank King hits the portal? Like people tell, there was this one gentleman that Moon was kind of getting whacked with, and in this day and age with NIL, this day and age where people, I know he's a Georgia Tech guy, like this is his system, right? And it works. They have a kid that the fan base is buying into, right? And is it Pilo?
Yeah, and I mean he forced one other pretty decent quarterback to
out
transfer
into the portal already.
Yeah.
So Is there a chance that Haynes King could get a call from a bigger school with
I think it needs to be in a more friendlier offense. Yes, if I'm him, I'd do it.
Is he the senior quarterback that Notre Dame seems to be going after? Or Michigan even? Because he would fit in either of those systems.
Yeah, him and Michigan in their system where it's kind of like a ground game, the way he can throw the ball. I hated that Moon was getting a lot of slack, you know what I mean? And I kind of backed him up on it. The kid was making good points as well. You know, this kid, you know, that King bleeds, you know, the gold and blue, but it's just like, it's different day and age in football. And when the bag is there, and I know if you did with bag, he would have left last year. The bag he would have got from this year to last year will be significantly different from the performance. Last year, he was a turnover king. He was. He was able to mount that up and just muster through it.
Pun intended. He was the turnover king. Yeah, I think when you look at, they had the only non-SEC team to even have a top 10 toughest schedule in the nation. They had the 9th toughest schedule. And what they want, 7 should have been 8 games.
But they'll win the conference. That's what sucks.
Yeah. I think he should hit the portal. He could play in a more friendly system, and he has an opportunity to play on Sundays, but he has to hit the portal. Even though I know he's loyal.
And there was times where like they literally had no running game, and it was just Haynes King.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unfortunately. Texas Tech fires defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter. Nino, also, you and like D-Now are my source of information. When I need to know something, I just go to the GOAT chat, and I know y'all already got me on information. You've been going crazy on the Twitter. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, talk to me about Tim DeRuyter.
All right, you know that saying you got fired on your day off. Well, Tim DeRuyter got fired after he got the extension, bro. You got the extension last year, got shit canned the next season. Went from top of the charts to bottom of the barrel. Listen, you let up 51 points to Aberdeen Christian to start the season off. That had to be a sign of bad things to come. And then you rattled off 35, 7 times this season they scored 35 points or more on you. You ranked 122 in the nation, allowing almost 35 points per game. Like, everything was bad. Like, 451 yards of offense and 300 plus yards through the air was the worst since 2019. Like, it's not all bad, though, because money. DeRuyter still gets 70% of his paycheck. It don't really matter to him. He's still getting paid. But Joey Maguire might be walking a little funny for the next couple of days. He fires DeRuyter. Kitley leaves for FAU. And 5-star wide receiver Michael Hudson throws him deuces because you would not play the kid. Sorry, Joey Maguire. You better get some Vaseline.
It's not the first time we've seen a wide receiver leave Texas Tech either.
It's actually been back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, it has. But back-to-back portal seasons. You called this one, D-Now. West Virginia fires Neil Brown. Why'd you see this one coming?
Yeah, because, just minus 2023, I think the most wins he had was 6. I think last year was kind of a fluke. Everything kind of fell into place for him. And the writing was on the wall even before 23 that he should be gone. I'm surprised he lasted this long in today's coaching carousel age. But he kind of falls into that category of like the James Franklins, the Ryan Days, can't win against the rivals.
Yeah.
And that's where every coach makes their money, their bread and butter. When you can't beat Penn State,
that's
can't.
Ryan Day.
Yep. You're going to get shit canned.
Yeah. It is what it is. It's one of those
Shout
sports.
out D-Now, because you had mentioned the coach. You've been talking Rich Rod has been the buzz, but you had mentioned Beck. The minute that he got shit canned, Anthony Beck retweeted the on-3 post with ...
Yep.
Wow.
Just saying.
He's in the West Virginia Hall of Fame.
Right. But for a guy that's been that you've been saying has been in the rumors, the minute it was posted, he had something kind of to say without saying anything.
He's my dark horse. I truly think though that the Rich Rod reunion is more likely than Beck.
Even the way it went out, like they literally.
I do. I think
get out of here.
Rich Rod has done a phenomenal job at Jacksonville State. Bro.
I think enough time has passed that they'd welcome him back.
Kind of like
if what's his face can come back to Arkansas.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah.
Rich Rod.
Yeah.
Petrino,
anything is possible. For sure. I love bringing up topics when you guys hit home runs, man. Billy Napier and the Florida Gators whip up on the Seminoles and finish 7-5 on the regular season. Of course, they got a bowl game as well. Nino, talk to me.
31-11, huh? It's 7 wins, which not many people said was possible.
Right.
Going bowling.
Me too. I didn't think it was possible.
Wasn't even a thought.
No.
Keeping his job through 2025 wasn't even a murmur.
Mm-mm.
But again, I said he was tied to DJ Lagway, his success. And DJ Lagway stated today he's not hitting the portal. He's staying in Florida. And Napier continues to kill the recruiting trail. So I'm going to reiterate it like I said it to you before, and I'll say it again. When he's 5-1 next year and he gets that extension, we can replay this episode again.
Beautiful. Iowa defeats Nebraska and finishes with 8 or more wins for 10 straight seasons, omitting the shortened COVID season. Of course, I think they got 8 wins that year. Anyway, now talk to me.
Yeah. You knew it was an ugly game. Just gonna flat out say it. But you knew it was gonna be one of those games when you saw the coin flip and Nebraska's captains refused to shake their hands, thinking they were hot shit. You knew Iowa was. Especially a guy like Jay Higgins who lets his playing talk more than anything. You knew he was going to come out there. Yes. And while Iowa's offense is Iowa's offense, the defense got tired the first half. That's how Nebraska got up. But after that break, it was all cylinders started to click. Nebraska did nothing the second half. Iowa forced the sacks the right time. The turnover late in the game kind of sealed it. And I love the chippiness of Jay Higgins running across to make sure Matt Rule shook his hand. I love that. But my fun fact for this game is back-to-back years, it's been 10-10 with 22 seconds left, and Iowa's hit walk-off field goals.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow. Ooh. Yeah, that's definitely one of those padlocks. That's that's impressive.
Dino, 2 things. 1, I'm tired, buddy. I'm tired. Me and you have said it for a long time. Now all of a sudden, the community is coming around on Caleb Johnson. When I start to see things like, don't overdraft Aston Genty when you can get Caleb Johnson as your and Malik Neighbors version of Marvin Harrison. That's what they say. Bro, we've been saying this for how long? I'm not an Iowa guy, bro, when I was saying it. You know what I mean? Like, they say you're one because you're an Iowa. Bro, the proof was in the pudding. Now, all of a sudden, they want to believe us. Why?
I mean, 1,600 yards, 23 touchdowns, and arguably the best conference or second best conference in America. I mean, I think he's
behind what? Sampson for rushing touchdowns?
And Genty.
And Genty, yeah. So
yeah.
Like, but I mean, come on.
This second in yards, yeah. I think the only knock against Caleb Johnson is Iowa didn't pass him the ball. Right. That's the only knock.
Didn't have a quarterback to pass him the ball.
Exactly. I mean, when you're playing a 5th string walk-on.
Jackson Strayton was a starter for 2 games. Enough said.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Brendan Sullivan was a starter for 2 games. Come on, man. What is he, 6 years? Yeah. 5 years?
I will say this, though. Not about Caleb Johnson. I am so glad Cade McNamara is gone after this season. His pettiness to not even participate in senior day. Good riddance.
You wanted him, though.
Oh, I 100% want. I will admit that 100% because I saw what he did at Michigan. I was like, okay, we're going to probably have a pretty decent passing quarterback, and my 8-year-old can probably complete more yards than Cade did.
Agreed. Now, who is the guy that follows Johnson? Moulton?
Or
I don't know. I like Patterson.
I think they go get a big body in the portal.
You think they go get a big body in the portal?
Yeah. I think the way Iowa's offense is, they need that power back with the stat back being the number 2.
Ahmad?
I would love that.
Because I see Genty in that kid so much. As more as I watch him, Ahmad Hardy out of UNL.
I would love that.
Louisiana Monroe. That kid in Iowa would be. Whew.
Yeah. He screams Big Ten running back. 100%.
Sorry, KT. I went off on a little.
No. I love it. I have a follow-up question that as well. What is Kirk Ferentz' legacy in Iowa City? Like,
never got above that. He never got above the plat. Like he got to like the top of the hill, but never could sit on the crest. In my eyes.
Oh, 100%. I mean, honestly, he's probably the greatest Iowa coach of all time. But when you got a program that, and I will bleed black and gold till the day I die, but we have two coaches over 51 years, I want to say, between Hayden Fry, Kirk Ferentz, and we settle for being a mid-tier team. It's kind of sickening as a fan. I hate that every time Kirk Ferentz had 9 wins, it was let's throw 3 more year extension at him, and that's what got us into this mess. I believe his buyout's like $37 million still because he's under contract till 2029, I want to say. And I've said it to my family and my friends. I would take 2 or 3 years being just a shit awful team if we could go get someone younger and upgrade this offense to the 2024. I mean, I'm tired of the 1980s offense. And prior to these last 4 years, I think Kirk's legacy would have been probably even higher than what it is right now, if that's possible. But I think these last 4 or 5 years kind of tarnished it with his son being crappy and then just no offensive passing game. But with that said, I think he's still probably the greatest coach to ever coach at Iowa.
Don't hate me, okay?
No.
But Kirk Ferentz is your old school version of James Franklin, bro.
Oh,
rely on your defensive studs to keep you in the game, right? But never have enough offensive oomph to get it done. He's had it. James Franklin's had it the last 2 years, but nobody gives Drew Aller any credit. Everybody thinks he's trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like they're the same kind of come from the same cloth.
Oh, 100%. But what I am looking forward to, if Iowa can do this right, when Kirk leaves, I honestly think Phil Parker leaves as well because they've been together since day one in Iowa City. If they can do it right, they will hire probably from within. It'll be Seth Wallace, who's the assistant head coach right now, as the head coach. They may keep Lester as OC. We'll see. But the biggest factor, I think, for Iowa to kind of stay where they are and potentially go higher is they have to keep LeVar Woods, who's their special team coordinator right now. They need to hire him as the DC. I think that's the only way.
An old Steelers guy. What did he play for the Steelers?
He might have for a hot second, but he was one of Kirk's early recruiting classes. I think that's the key to keep the engine going.
Why is it just always the same? There's no parity. Like why? Like FAU got Kitley. You guys couldn't have picked up the phone, and you can't say look at Taj Brooks, bro. Like this dude, it was top 5 in the nation back-to-back years on yards after contact and missed tackles, bro. Like so, their run game worked. Like. Mm-hmm. How do you not pick up the phone knowing this guy's available and make that call? Because then it saves Ferentz till he wants to leave in the sunset. But you have a young kid that's kind of modernizing your offense now.
Yeah,
while keeping the things that work for Iowa with being that ground and pound.
Yeah. So,
is he open to that?
No, that's the thing. Okay.
So Iowa's open to being mediocre until he's gone.
I
mean, we've been mediocre for 51 years.
I think so.
We've had our few 10, 11 win games, but then few years we're back to 7-5. So, I mean, but honestly, until Cade came in, when Kirk hit the portal, it became Kirk Ferentz 4.0. So as Iowa fans, we've seen the growth or whatever you want to call it of Kirk Ferentz. He came in as old school, and then with Brad Banks, he kind of started running the options. That was Kirk Ferentz 1.0. And then as he kept going, it was 2.0. And we're like, okay, when's the next version of Kirk going to come along? And there's always been the one thing. And until Cade, Kirk's thing was no one ever transferred in, no one ever transferred out. So then when Cade came in, obviously 4.0 hit. But he's kind of stuck there. I don't see a 5.0 because even with Brian Ferentz there, you could see when Brian called the plays and when Kirk called the plays. I'll use the USC bowl game as an example. When Iowa was spread 75% of the game, 300 plus yards passing, 5 touchdowns, whatever it was, that was legit. Kirk let Brian call the play. You could even see it game 1. Yes, it was against Illinois State, but it was more spread. They put up 40 points because Kirk was suspended. Game they come back, 10 points because it was ground and pound, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I think that's going to be, to go back to the legacy, I think that's going to be more Kirk's legacy is 1980s Hayden Fry football.
So why is Lester there then?
Because honestly, well, during the whole search, I was blowing up our group chat. Hey, this guy's in Iowa City interviewing. This guy's in Iowa.
Right.
I think Lester fits more of what Kirk wanted to do. Where Seth Wallace, who I think should be the next head coach, is a younger guy. I believe he's 35, 36, and is more modern based, the spread. Where when Lester was with Green Bay, we obviously see how they did it last year. It was more ground and pound.
Successful though.
It was very successful.
Even AJ Dillon was successful on like one leg.
Yes, but had they gotten a guy like Marion, who was actually in Iowa City interviewing, I think there would have been the head bash.
No way it would work. There's no way that go works with Kurt Ferentz. There's no way you can run 65, 75 plays in Iowa. Not with Ferentz at the helm.
Nope.
He wants the 35, 40 plays, manipulate the clock, just wind it down, wind it down.
Bill Parcells football.
Yep.
But Parcells had some flair. Ferentz has no flair.
No, he's got no flair.
We saw Bledsoe, right? You saw Testaverde in the NFL. Those guys had a little bit of flair throwing the ball, but Ferentz doesn't. I don't know. It's odd.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I bet you a lot of people are ready.
Yeah. It is very odd. So 1 week after destroying an undefeated Indiana Hoosier team, the Ohio State Buckeyes look like arguably the best team in the nation. And it's no way they'll lose to a struggling Michigan team, right? Known affectionately, as the game wrong, as Lou Holtz stated a season ago. Ohio State isn't physical enough, and that's what we saw in this 13-10 victory by the Wolverines in Columbus. Nino, Ohio State is now out of the conference championship. Are they a guaranteed playoff team? And what were your takeaways from this ugly game?
This speaks so much more volumes on how suspect Indiana really is.
I had a feeling you would go there, yeah.
Everybody says, Indiana, who'd they play? As soon as they had to play someone that was really good, punching them out, went home crying, right? And then that team really wasn't a big bully on the block because here came Debo. And he took their lunch money and their bike. So it's like maybe Indiana needs to be sitting on the porch with Craig.
Indiana did beat Michigan, though.
And Michigan just beat Ohio State, so it's...
Yeah.
Michigan, like I was trying to say, is Michigan really wasn't that good. This was they saved all of it for this game and won. Indiana, when they faced a good team, got punched in the mouth, and that good team maybe isn't really as good as everybody thought they were. Nobody really lived up to the hype, right, on that team this year at all. I mean, we loved Will Howard, but I just liked his moxie. I didn't really like his style of play. There was 2 games all year that he kind of balled out, but I was like, okay, well, the kid has the chutzpah, but was he better than Kyle McCord?
No.
Okay, that's a conversation for another day. But is Ohio State guaranteed? They're not out of it. It's just so odd, and the thing is you ready for this? Their spot of 8 right now, I think that's where most people have them, is the easy road, which is everybody's saying, may not be the easy road because what happens if Penn State loses to Oregon, which I think is going to happen? Now you have 2 Big Ten teams with 2 losses, but Penn State lost to them.
Right.
So how do you have Penn State ranked higher than them? Right?
So just because they're champions?
Well, they would lose to Oregon. They wouldn't be champions.
Yeah.
So now they got nothing to stand on here. So here comes the chaos ball, which is what the committee loved and is waiting for. So I don't know if they're out of it because at 11-2, it's a big mess. Now, what if Georgia, right? What if Georgia beats Texas? What happens then?
Right.
Or if Texas loses to Georgia, now you have another 11. There's a lot of shit.
There's a lot of scenarios.
So, yes, they lost and put their odds to being in a good spot and guaranteeing themselves, because they don't get to play. They don't control their destiny the rest of the way. Unfortunately, I don't think they have to worry about it because I think Penn State loses, which gets them in. And that gets them in at a better spot. As crazy as that sounds.
Right.
You ready for this? Ryan Day pulled the Lane fucking Kiffin without saying it. I don't want to be in the Big Ten championship game. I ain't got the chutzpah or the ball sack, so I'm going to avoid it. But guess what? I'm still going to be there because James Franklin can't win the big fucking game, and I'm not worried about it.
Wow.
He literally pulled the Lane Kiffin right underneath everybody's eyes, and that's what's going to happen. So, yeah, Ohio State's not guaranteed, but they're kind of almost guaranteed because I think Oregon's going to dog walk Penn State.
Wow.
I really do. I think – no, I've been saying Dan Lannon's been putting on the table. Dan Lannon about to flip this fucking table over, bro. Because in the last, 4 or 5 weeks, you ain't heard a damn thing about Oregon. You ain't heard a damn thing about Dan Lanning. My man don't like not being talked about when they keep winning.
Yeah, it's been the most quiet one seed.
Yeah.
Only undefeated team in the country.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it, right? And I guarantee you, he's taking that. He's feeding that shit to the Ducks. Nobody's talking about us. Look at Penn State. Everybody's talking about Penn State, Ohio State. Nobody's talking about it. First year in the Big Ten. We own this motherfucker. Nobody's talking. Right? That's bulletin board shit for him. He will figure it out. I think Penn State loses. I think Ohio State slides in. Ohio State and Ryan Day, $36 million worth of buyout. He ain't going anywhere. They ain't buying that guy out, right?
AD already said it.
Right. Ryan Day falls in shit and comes out smelling like a rose. Every single time. This dude is unbelievable.
If you think about it, going through the scenarios, they may not even change seeds if how it plays out how you had it. They may still end up being the 5 seed like they were this week.
Six, right? Isn't it the 6? Because they would get Boise or Arizona State. They got their feet up in the driver's seat.
Exactly. That may be the easiest route to the championship. Without playing the conference.
They had extra money left in the NIL. They just sent it to the fucking committee, bro. Here you go. We grease them pockets now for you. I do want to say something, though. Shout out West Roxbury Zone. That's right, West Roxbury, Mass. Khalil Mullins. Who would have thought, headed into the season, that he would have been the best running back in this game, right? When you had what's his face there? I can't think of it. John Judkins, right? Travion Henderson, and you know,
and 7th rounder,
our boy Edwards that just disappears. West Roxbury's own, baby, leading the way. Had actually a really good season for Michigan this year.
Really,
he did.
Being behind who was supposed to be the RB2 by Donovan Edwards, he was the RB1 for them. So shout out my guy, Khalil Mullins. But like I said, Ryan Day, baby. He's a fucking hold on. Wide receiver, you, huh? Yeah. Will Johnson didn't play, people.
He did. He did.
Jeremiah Smith had his worst performance of the fucking season, bro. 5 receptions for 37 yards. That's this wide receiver. Where was Emeka Ibuka? Like this game. He hasn't
been there all season.
I'm going to tell you something right now. This game, scouts, GMs, they were watching this one. He could have sucked all fucking year. This is what he needed.
23 teams there to scout.
He went to sleep, bro. His draft stock, this one put him out of the first round. He's looking like the end of the second round. Yep. Lucky to get in the mid because he could have saved himself on a big stage, and he didn't. I'm looking at a Homer Simpson meme, bro. Ibuka, the last 16, 17 games is kind of just faded off, bro. Yeah. Everybody else, Cornell Tate's looked better than Ibuka these last 4 weeks.
Yeah, Cornell Tate has looked good down the stretch. Ibuka, can we see him in Mobile?
I think he has to.
I don't know if he got an invite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either, but if he does, he has to.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way he
that should be opening up. So I'm so upset I missed last year. I'm ready for this year.
I'm going this year. I'm going. I already told the wife, the family. I'm going.
Let's go.
I love it.
D now, we all saw the mayhem that proceeded after the game. Ryan Day, 1-4 versus Michigan. Is he the right guy for the job? I'm asking you a loaded question. Also, what were your takeaways from the game?
All right, so I'm going to set the stage. My wife, Ohio State alum, entire family, brothers, sisters, all went to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
So I was introduced seriously into this rivalry in 2013 when I moved back to Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
That was the year Ohio State played in the Big House. There was that fight right after the opening kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
The Ohio State tackle, whatever he was, flipped the bird to all the fans. So that was my first game in this rivalry. And since then, I've been waiting for a moment like that to happen in this game. Sure, we had was it a first down call, whatever, but it wasn't as chippy as I had hoped. So when I saw this at the end of the game, I was all for it. I loved that Michigan came in there and be like, hey, we had a shitty year for our standards, but we still let you know who daddy was.
Fucked up your year.
Yep. Plant the flag there. I love that Jack Sawyer was in tears about it, trying to defend the Blocko. I loved all of that. I loved the memes coming out about Ryan Day being a little bitch, just watching it.
How you not protect your boy, bro?
Exactly.
How you not have your linebackers back, bro? After they put that flag in your face for 2 years in a row, 2 out of the 4 years, they stuck it to you at your place. This dude saying they're not doing it to me again, and you stand there with your hands in your pockets, bro.
Yeah, just
gutless, bro. He is gutless.
So I love all that shit coming down. I love going back. What was it, last year, 2 years ago? Lou Holtz calling him out and them getting that win over Notre Dame and Ryan Day acting like it was his Super Bowl. And honestly, in the words of the late great Kobe Bryant, the Buckeyes are as soft as Charmin. I mean, Lou Holtz hit it right on the head when he called it out. If it wasn't for the $40 million buyout, I think Ryan Day would be packing.
Who's better? Who are you bringing in though? Because if you say Lane Kiffin, it's a lateral movement, bro.
100%.
Both off the shit. That's the problem. It's a $40 million buyout, and you don't have anything
you
better.
don't know who's going to be there. So, yes, they can recruit. They can spend all the NIL money. But, I mean, now you got me thinking about who they could bring in. Because I don't see anyone from the inside that could be elevated.
Not Chip. No.
I think Chip is done. I don't think Brian Hartline is ready. I think that was probably mistake number one, letting him be co-OC with Chip Kelly this year.
That's why they bought Chip in, because they knew he wasn't ready.
Oh, yeah. They should have just kept him as the wide receiver. Go be the best recruiter in the country. That's your deal.
Mm-hmm. Kid and Tempe not ready yet?
No.
Who?
Kenny Dillingham. He's not ready yet?
Kenny Dillingham will never go anywhere. He'll die in Arizona State.
I think after this season, go back to bring.
You see him that last game with us, not the game with the 1 second add-on. This week's game with his wife. His wife was the first one on the field, jumped in his arms, big hug and kiss. He ain't going.
He's not living.
With what
he's not bag big enough for Kenny to live right now. Maybe in like 5 years after
Arizona State, with how down the Big 12 is now that Oklahoma and I will say down.
They can own it.
Exactly.
For years.
Why go to a school where you have to compete with Oregon, Michigan, Penn State year in, year out when you could be at Arizona State and just run the Big 12 and lock in potentially a top 4 seed in the playoff every year?
Did anybody – we knew who Cam Scatterboot was. Did anybody else in the country know who Cam Scatterboot was? Really?
I'm going to say that next segment.
How about Jordan Tyson? I talked about Jordan Tyson in Colorado. 1,000 fucking yards he had for this team.
Yep.
Like, Sammy Leavitt was a Debbie Darlin. I didn't see anybody talk about maybe Felix at C2C, because he loved Sammy Leavitt. Talked about him for a while. But nobody talked about Sammy Leavitt. Like, bro, they had – if they can bring pieces in, you got a guy at 30 years old that's got the same fire and burn.
He could be there for another 40 years if he wants to.
He could be there till the day he died. Nick Saban, bro. He could be Nick Saban for Arizona State.
I'm not sure if the bag's big enough, bro.
I don't think it's a bag big enough to get him out of there.
Really?
I think the sponsors or the boosters in Tempe, I think the bag's big enough they can keep him if they want him.
They will give it. Listen to me. I will tell you something right now. The way that man bleeds the way that
he
that's
does.
His school, that's his state. Everything about Arizona State is Dillingham. No way, bro. That guy ain't leaving. He wants to build his own thing, and he wants to build it at home.
Wow, I love it. So let's look ahead at the marquee conference championship games we got coming up this upcoming week. UNLV versus Boise State for the Mountain West Conference Championship. Is the winner of this game? Forget the automatic G5, because I think the winner of this game is automatic G5. The winner of this game is what seed?
12.
It depends who wins.
It's UNLV. That's the winner.
Okay, so
no, that's who I got winning as well.
Yeah,
and they will be the 12.
And this is why my bracket kind of plays into what we're talking about, because I said Arizona State will be 4. They will be 4. Big 12. It'll be the 4 major conferences will be in the 4 spots. That's how it should be.
That's how it should be, for sure.
The G5, I'm no knock, bro, but UNLV will pass Boise State in the rankings by that time. And they will be, the 12 will be in the 12 spot.
Yep.
But listen, I'm going to tell you why, right? You got to think they met already once.
They did.
They lost by 4 points. This is when they were trying to figure out their identity. It was the 3rd game for Williams. Bro, Ricky White is white hot, okay? HMW has been cooking for about 7 weeks now and is a leader on that team, not a quitter for that team. Okay?
Hey, talk that talk.
And I'm going to tell you something right now. 5 weeks in a row with a touchdown. Jaden Jet Thomas is back at the perfect moment for the UNLV Rebels. They will not lose to this team. Not this time. They already have their game plan on film. Aston Genty is banged up as well.
Yeah.
Watch out. The Rebels are going to make a statement in this one.
Yeah, that top 25 defense, too. I mean, they're going to stack the box. They're going to force Maddox to beat them like San Jose tried to do. I think they're just going to be more successful.
They're honestly a few games away from being undefeated, if we're really
100%.
being honest.
Really close games, bro. They had
Yes.
one bad game. All the other ones, man, they were in it to the last couple plays.
Iowa State versus Arizona State for the Big 12 championship. Loser is definitely out. Who we liking in this matchup? I think we all like the same team in this one.
Yeah, I can't root for Iowa State. I can't root for Iowa State. But I will say, seriously, like Nino was saying, Scadabo's had an amazing year. If it wasn't for Genty, wasn't for Johnson, he would be leading every single running back award. I think he's more of a complete back than the other two, solely because Arizona State utilizes him in the pass game. Sam Leavitt has had an amazing year. I'm sure Michigan State fans wish this is what they saw when he was up in East Lansing. But my only concern is Jordan Tyson is out. He's their one other offensive weapon outside Scadabo. So I'm looking to see who steps up outside in the passing game.
And I had a feeling you were going to mention this, okay? And that's why I had in my notes. You're right. Outside of Tyson, it goes to like 400 yards receiving behind Scadabo, right? But I expect Xavier Gallery to step up. And Jordan Tyson came out of the tunnel distraught, like crying in tears with a sling on his shoulder, okay? And then Derek Izubu, the freshman wide receiver, had a 61-yard touchdown. It was like my man wasn't hurt no more. Beeline right over to him. You saw it, right? He was ready. He's dapping him up. Oh, listen, I think he's going to inspire some of these kids this week, right? And someone in this wide receiver room is going to step up. And if not, put it on Scadabo's back. We've already seen him go for 5. He had 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving like 2 or 3 weeks ago. The kid can do
in the ground, 150 in the air.
So, like, I mean, they also have, Shimon Matoya, who's a tight end, who could be a weapon for them in the red zone if Tyson, if any of his wide receivers can't step up in Tyson's absence. We talked a lot about Arizona State because I truly think they're going to win. Iowa State's no chump by any means, okay?
No.
I love the uniform combinations. I love the wide receiver combinations. Higgins and Noel are legit threats. Noel is a dude, bro.
Yeah, he's creeping up a lot of boards with this season that he's had.
Secondary for Arizona State needs to stay locked in. They've been playing good all year. They need to stay locked in. They need to minimize the yak in this game for those guys. And they also have to minimize the three-headed monster in that run game. It's not just Abu Sama. They got 2 other dudes that can carry the rock for them as well. I just think when it comes down to the X factor, it's Kenny Dillingham. His will alone will not let them lose this game. He would put on pads and a helmet if he had to and go catch the freaking ball if it was necessary. I think Arizona State wins this by 1 possession. But I think they win this game.
For me, the biggest X factor is Rocco Becht. Which one is going to come out? We've seen him.
Dr. Jekyll is the Hyde, baby.
Exactly. Where he is white hot, probably a top 10 quarterback in the country, and then where he's just dog shit and is an Iowa State quarterback. So it just really depends on who comes to play.
I would have to agree. I said it in the opening when we did when we recapped day one of the Big 12 media days, that I said it is time for Matt Campbell to put up or shut up. I'm tired of hearing, every year they're teetering and figuring it out. I thought this was a put up or shut up year for him. And they have an opportunity to do this because I think it's a rarity. I think most of the nation is with us. We love this Kenny Dillingham story. We love seeing Arizona State, and a lot of us want to see them win. Matt Campbell has a huge opportunity to take the Big 12 this year and go into the playoff. We'll see what happens, but I'm with you guys. I think Arizona State will win.
I think the winner of this game sets themselves up in a good position. We said Arizona's in the position where they could run the Big 12. I think if Iowa State wins this, they're in the same position where they could become the dominant team in the Big 12.
I agree with you 100%, dude. If either one of these teams is in the winner is in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
My guy Brian P. Browning is in the building. He's
missed like our Boise segment.
Yeah, he missed the Boise.
He knows
segment.
what we stand on, man.
He knows we've been waiting on this, but he's like Norm from Cheers.
I wish I knew. I'm gonna, Brian, if you got Twitter, man, shoot me a DM at __ Nino Brown __. I would love, dude, to be able to conversate with you during this game on Friday, bro. Me and you, all in good fun, bro. Maybe we'll do a Spaces. You can hop in and we'll just chat it up. Shoot me a DM on the Twitter, my man. I would love to lock this one in.
Yeah, he's yes, you guys definitely got to do that. Most definitely got to do that. SMU versus Clemson for the ACC championship. I think we all agree the loser is out. I got a couple questions for this one. Who wins the game? And is Miami worthy of a look by the committee? I think their time is coming on. Also, CFB Nation will be in attendance for this game. Let me know how y'all feel about that. That was a lot.
All right, so I was reading and looking and doing some research.
Oh, Lord.
When you look at South Carolina, Alabama, Ole Miss, and you do the whole my guy Brian, that's what I'm talking about. A true dude right there.
Mm-hmm.
Me ain't gonna chop it up for this game. When you look at like the versus strength of schedule, who defeated who, it looks as though Alabama would be the kind of the victor out of the whole situation. Not who's the hottest, okay? But when you go, but if you put Miami, even though they have the 2 losses in this little scenario where maybe they shouldn't be outside looking in, maybe it should be down to Alabama and Miami as that team that sneaks in there. I'm a South Carolina guy. You guys know that. I'm just trying to look at it from the outside. Miami kind of still deserves to be talked about a little bit. I think they're just getting tossed to the side, but they really kind of shouldn't be. I feel as though they might be the Florida State of this season.
Jim Phillips isn't ballsy enough. That's really what it boils down to. Because what is he going to do? That's going to be the mindset.
No, he wouldn't say anything. He would just take it and be fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the X factor here is everybody wants to talk about SMU, Rashad Smith, and Jennings. It's the defense, bro. Less than 150 yards allowed passing in back-to-back games versus Virginia and Cal. That is monumental, especially when you're coming down a playoff stretch here and you're getting into the big games. Your defense is locking down. Watch out. If SMU is clicking on all cylinders, bro, and they can get Cade. I love Cade, but we can get the real shitty Cade. And if SMU is getting to him and he's in his own head, because in my eyes, Clemson doesn't belong here in this game. I don't think that they belong in this.
Graham Brown said it.
You don't believe. You don't believe.
You're welcome.
Yep, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's not take anything away from the kids at Clemson. I just think that Syracuse played the spoiler in this game.
But their dance starts now, though. It starts now. Clemson playoffs starts now. If they got to go get
new
it.
Season for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they got to go get it. If they really want it, they got to go get it. And then maybe I don't know. Clemson shouldn't be here, but they're here. They have an opportunity. Go
see what happens. This is kind of I remember somebody saying that you had that feeling that this might be a Dabo year throughout the whole mix. I remember you saying that, KT, earlier in the year, that like, Dabo going on a championship run wouldn't be surprising to you in this season. So,
I mean, giving the middle finger to the sport, come on,
yeah,
that'd be phenomenal.
So I think SMU wins. I'm in agreement with you, but I'll be that guy that is actually going to talk about Jennings. I mean, he's averaging 270 yards per game, has a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio over their 9-game win streak. So he's not just a one-trick pony, pun intended. Brashad Smith has emerged as one of the best backs in the country. And their offense is averaging almost 40 points a game since their last loss. So, I mean, they're clicking on all cylinders. As for Miami, I think I'm in agreement with you. I have 3 teams as like that 10-11 seed in the playoffs that I wouldn't be upset if any of them made it, and Miami's in one of those. The only knock against it, it's what have you done for me lately sort of season, and with Miami losing 2 out of their 3, I think that's the only thing that hurts them since they fizzled down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, it's the lately stuff. I understand. Like I mentioned SMU's defense, bro. When you got 3 guys that have 6 pass breakups on the season and you have 15 picks as a team,
yeah,
watch out. Like Jonathan McGill and Deuce Harmon are legit, and if you test them, they will make you pay.
I owe head coach of SMU, Rhett Lashley, an apology. I was very super critical of how he handled this quarterback situation. I thought that he should have made a decision earlier, allow one of these young men to hit the portal, do it the right way. I understand you want to keep them both. You bring them both.
Solid point right here. You want to talk about recency? If look right, then South Carolina's got to go out the window. If we're going to put, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a very good point.
I like that.
But at the same point, shouldn't Bama be put out the window after that Schlack?
Right. So that's right. It's a body of work, right? It's got to be a body of work.
Yeah. So, like I was saying about SMU, I was very critical of Rhett Lashley. Like I said, I didn't like it for how it was handled for Kevin Jennings or Preston Stone. I'm sure Preston Stone will be hitting the portal if he haven't announced that he's hitting the portal already. But great job, Rhett Lashley. I'm going with Dabo. I think Clemson wins this game.
Ooh. You think this is enough? This is going to spark a little fire?
I think it will, because I think a lot of people are thinking like us, like, yo, Clemson shouldn't even be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to have to figure something the hell out.
So, all right. So if Clemson wins,
it's an argument that can be made.
Then
it's an argument that can be made for your UNLV.
UNLV might pass them, and they might. Yeah,
it's an argument that can be made for that, for sure.
That Brian, would be crazy, baby. Right? Oh, we got a lot to talk about after this Friday. A lot to talk about. All right, let's go on to the next one.
All right, Penn State faces Oregon in the Big Ten Championship. Regardless of the outcome, I do believe both teams are in. This game is essentially for a first-round bye. I think I have an idea who you both think will win. I think I'm higher on Penn State than both of you are.
No, I'm not against them. I think they're fine where they are, but they're not going to beat Oregon. That's not going to happen. I don't think they can muster enough points. I don't think that the 2 running backs will be able to keep the Nittany Lions on the field long enough, right? Because that's how they set it up. They ground and pound, and they let Drew Aller do their thing. But you got to get more than 3 yards in a cloud of dust on every play, because they still set you up at 4th down, no matter what you're doing, right? So the way Oregon's defense has been playing, the way that front 7 has just been attacking quarterbacks and bottling running backs up, I'm not saying Penn State won't score, but I think that this game could get away, and it won't be like the score might not be, decisive in like getting away from like it could be.
But you'll know who's the dominant team.
31-17 won't be like, oh, they got dogged.
Yeah.
But if you looked at the whole game, it'd be like, yeah, Penn State got dogged, and maybe they got a score at the end of the game to kind of cut the score closer. I can't see it. Yes, Abdul Carter is a guy. He's an absolute guy.
But he's one guy.
And they can take him away because their line is good, right? Look at the shirt that Dylan Gabriel was wearing, right? Like, he knows it's the front, the wall, the duck wall up front. He knows it's the ducks up front. Like, he gets it. I don't know. I don't think that they have enough to slow down the Ducks. There's so many weapons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm right there with you. Do I think Penn State may be able to come out and beat Oregon? Sure. I mean, anything can happen.
But yeah.
But I'm right there with you. Over the last outside this USC game, I haven't seen enough from Penn State. I was hoping they kind of started opening the floodgates offensively against Maryland last week, but Drew Aller only had 171 yards. Neither Singleton or Allen has looked dominant at all this season, and that's Penn State's bread and butter. But I know every single week what Dylan Gabriel is going to do. He's going to methodically drive it down the field, 5-6 yard pass or 5 or 6 passes down the field, touchdown. Next drive, Jordan James is going to break a 75-yard run, touchdown. The defense is going to shut down everyone. So that's why I'm going to pick Oregon, just because I know who they are. They execute who they are to the T. You don't know who Penn State is, and they do not execute consistently.
The thing that scares me for Penn State is that the coaching edge is so wide.
Oh yeah,
like I that's the thing that bothers me. But I've studied this Penn State team, even at Ohio State lost. Like, to me, it was did the players get outplayed or did the coaches get out coached? You know what I'm saying? Like, they had a 10-point lead and just like, oh, we're cool with this 10-0 lead. Like, we gonna win a game 10-0. And like you said, so that's what scares me about Penn State. But I don't know.
Here's my thing: when you take away Warren, because Dan Lanning's going to take him away.
Yeah. Oh, who's their offense?
Who's going to show up? Because like, there's nobody. Like, we haven't seen nobody. Wallace, Fleming,
nope.
Weeks, dude. Crazy fact. Nicholas Singleton is averaging more yards per carry than he has in his whole college career, and he only has 733 yards. He's averaging 6.1 yards per pop, better than his freshman season.
That's crazy.
Also, shout out to Penn State's OC getting that job interview. I think he's going to get the job.
Andy Cottle, Nicky.
Yeah,
he's going to get the job too. Yeah,
I think he's going to get the job.
Yeah, I just. It's not that like I said, it's not that I don't have respect for them. It's just, and like I told you in the green room, they lose. Now you open a Pandora's box for a lot of teams.
That everyone loves
flipping coins, folks, because it's whoever I feel I want in that position.
But I think there are 2 losses. It's just hard.
Is there such thing as good losses in college football? Like there is basketball.
2 losses, will be Ohio State and Oregon. So I think they're in, no matter what.
Oh, they're in. I didn't say they wouldn't be in. I just.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, if we're going to use this metric for one team, we got to use this metric for all
so now you
teams.
lose to Ohio State, right? So then Ohio State would have to be above you. So they would probably flip-flop in the 5 and 6 position. Now, that's our conversation. Penn State that's going against, Brian, no disrespect, a Boise, a UNLV, or the Arizona State run. I'm going to tell you something right now. Boise, UNLV, they'll get that dub. Arizona State, I don't know if they get that dub.
Yeah. That one's hard. I don't see them shutting down Scatabo. Their corners.
They'll run offset. They'll run it to the right side and just have Abdul Qadir running around the field all day.
And Penn State's corners haven't been consistent at all this year. So even if Tyson is healthy again, I think he torches who's ever guarding him.
Now, and it's not a dig at you. I don't want you to think I'm throwing digs at you.
No.
KT. No, KT.
Oh.
We had an argument earlier in the season about Oregon with Dylan Gabriel and Oregon with Bo Nix. I know they're number 1 in the country, undefeated. Did Dylan Gabriel take Oregon to a higher height than Bo Nix did? Or did the scheme that Dan Lanning and Oregon runs fit Dylan Gabriel better than Oklahoma's did? Like, did he do more than Bo Nix did?
I think that's a loaded question. And I think one, I wouldn't get upset. I love this conversation actually. So let's put that out there in the atmosphere. But I think a couple things happened. I think Taj Lapoy and Dan Lanning figured it out, and you're starting to see Oregon look more like Georgia than Oregon. So you're starting to see the transformation. So I think naturally, Bo Nix a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's not even close. But I think what I saw was the team aspect. I saw what Dan Lanning was building, how he was trying to get them to be that West Coast Georgia. So that's why I firmly believe that he will take them to higher heights. Right now, they're my favorites to win a national championship. I am high on Penn State. I'm much higher on Penn State than most people are. But yeah, right now that's how I feel.
So, like, you feel that Gabriel is the catalyst.
Yeah. I feel like he's benefited more off of Oregon than Oregon has benefited off of him.
And as a culmination of this whole discussion,
yes,
as gentlemen, I can walk out of the room and agree with that with you.
Okay.
Where we started to where we got.
Yeah. We got
I'm
there.
cool.
I think Gabriel is more consistent than Bo Nix. As far as talent, Bo Nix definitely, but definitely better than Lake.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Brian, I agree with you to a degree because I heard the same thing about this quarterback class. That Bo Nix was the least consistent, the least accurate, the least of all of them. But
maybe rookie of the year.
He's doing a damn thing. He is certainly doing a damn thing.
And when you went and looked at deep ball throws and accuracy, he was almost top out of that class. When you went and looked at it. Just what they want to show you to what is actual, right?
Yeah. So. I think Bo Nix is weird. It's almost like he had two careers in college. We seen freshman year at Auburn, he showed flashes.
3.
That he could be a guy. Yeah,
because Auburn's freshman year was a season.
He wasn't that Gus Malzahn option type quarterback.
No, and then
but that first year he was good.
He was good the first year.
He was still running.
In the second year, like Mike Bobo, it was awful.
And he made mental errors left and right.
Yeah. But I mean, the scheme didn't fit. They were just trying to, run this crazy scheme. All right, let's get to this last game on the docket before we get into our brackets. Georgia and Texas face off again in the SEC championships. Both teams should be in. Who do you guys like in this rematch?
Texas.
Give
me Texas.
I'm going Georgia. I think the home field, the game being in Atlanta.
It is in Atlanta.
Kirby always plays for the big games, and it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. I got Georgia, but it's close. I think it's going to be like a 3-point game. I think it'll be really close.
So Georgia beats Texas again?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the toughest one to call for me.
It is.
Nino, what you thinking? I know you got something on your mind.
Well, you just said it's hard to beat a team twice, but then you said
Georgia beats them again. I said, but Georgia wins.
He had 5 touchdowns. It took him fucking 12 quarters. Okay. And he had 4 touchdowns against UMass team that was tied with them at the half. He looked like dog shit against Texas.
But Quinn has looked like dog shit since.
I don't give a shit about Quinn.
Archie didn't look better.
Did you see what he did last week?
Against Georgia, though. He didn't look any better, though.
No. But that was what? Week what? 1, 2, 3. That was 7 weeks ago? 6 weeks ago?
Something like that.
Archman was a bulldog on that run and got up and let everybody know.
Oh, he's a big boy. He can take a hit.
Week 1, bro. I've grown a little bit.
The team seems to respond really well to him, too.
Agreed.
Which is interesting.
Agreed. Here's my other thing. Georgia's going to go in against that Texas front 7 with a rookie and expect to be successful. I don't see Nate Frazier jigging and jiving. Mind you, took him 8 quarters. Well, actually, 12 quarters to get 75 yards and a tutty, bro. Robinson's not playing. ETN is not playing. And if he does, he's going to be like 40%.
Yeah.
Texas hasn't had to do it the running back room. And Jaden Blue, every other series is good. Then he looks mentally lost. Then he's good. Like, Quizner's kind of coming. I don't see Georgia's offense beating Texas front 7. And I think that's where the key to the game is. It's not Texas's offense against Georgia's defense, where most of the time everybody's saying Georgia's defense. I don't think that's the key. I think it's going to be Texas' defense. Just what sucks. Dan Lanning's been trying to build the West Coast Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shock has been trying to build Georgia. Straight out Georgia. And that's what it's taken him probably about 4 years. They sucked in the secondary last year, right? They had no physical guy who could hit, knock the snot out of you, and be a threat. What'd they go do? They got McCumber. Dynamically changed that whole secondary. It lets those guys up front go and be dogs and not have to worry about getting burnt in the back end, right? You don't have to have that linebacker in the middle of the field in coverage because McCumber can cover that. Now you're letting your guys that are glued DBs stick to these guys, and now you have to make Beck beat you because you only have one scheme.
Do we know if Humphreys is playing for Georgia?
But he's been useless.
I understand, but is he playing even though he said he's transferring?
Oh, I don't think so. He's transferred again?
Yeah.
He transferred in? Now he's transferred out?
Not the white Humphreys, the black Humphreys for
Georgia. He's not playing.
The corner.
He's not playing. I thought you were saying, I'm like, bro, he
came
in. No, Jamal Humphreys, I don't think he's going to play. I don't foresee him play. But I just think you're putting all your eggs in Timmy's basket. It costs him Beck.
Yeah. You know what I would do? Honestly, I would line up Jalen Walker. I would line up Michael Williams, same side against Cameron Williams of Texas. And that would be my game plan.
Well, who's the other guy? You can slide him. They have 2 tackles, right?
Yeah.
Isn't the other guy going to be a potential top 60 pick?
Okay, so you're gonna tell me you're gonna take your left tackle and switch him to the right?
No. I'm not saying, but you can pull. You can have a guard pull.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that's what you were trying to say.
Or just play. Hey, if you want to do that, eliminate one side of the field. Good luck. You're putting your 2 bulldogs on one side of the field and hoping to God Samal Monday can cover the other one, right? But what does Texas do? Texas can get the ball out quickly. Texas hasn't had to because teams have given Texas the field offensively. Texas built their offense to be quick, speedy slot receivers. Yeah. Golden.
They have.
So if you want to play that game, you're putting all your eggs in that one side and hope to God.
I think that one side's a pretty good place to put all your eggs, though.
You better be faster than 2 seconds. You better be able to get there in less than 2 seconds because every dump pass is going to smoke you to that side of the field. Because you put Small London on an island.
Yeah.
He's good. Don't get me wrong. He's probably a top 5 linebacker, but I don't know if he could be on an island all game.
Yeah.
Who's their top DB?
Starks.
Starks is the lockdown DB, or Starks is like a zone coverage DB? Because I don't see him as a lockdown DB.
No. I mean, no, he's a coverage.
Right. So he would be, however it be zone coverage or whatever. I think Texas built their team for this game.
I see what you're saying.
Georgia to Alabama. Like, this is what their team's made for.
Right. Kirby's going to bring everything in Atlanta.
I agree. I mean, Kirby has to.
Yeah.
Skeletons are knocking on the door, so Kirby has no choice. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I just think you got to stop Anthony Hill. You got it. That front 7 is going to be big. I think the front 7 of Texas gives Beck more problems than the front 7 of Georgia gives Quinn. Normally, it's the other way around. Normally, Georgia's the catalyst in that department. I just think the tables have turned this year.
Both of these quarterbacks have been very turnover prone. That's what scares me about this game. Because Beck, I mean, let's be honest, it just hasn't looked good this year.
He'll go 2-game spurts, and then he'll have 4 games that are just terrible.
Yeah, and I've seen them in some. I've seen Georgia win some games with him just throwing a plethora of interceptions. If he's somehow able to protect the ball, I'm going Georgia.
He hasn't thrown a pick in 3 games. Granted, one game was against Tennessee, but then it's been UMass and Georgia Tech. So
right. So if he protects the ball, I'm going Georgia.
Give me 35-31 Texas.
30. Oh, I like that score. 35-31 Texas.
Yeah, I'm kind of along the same line. I'm thinking like
Georgia 35-30. Yeah.
Not like 31-28.
I think it's a 1-possession, 1-score game. I don't think it's it's less than 10. So Perfect timing, Alan. We're gonna get into that right now.
Hey, you ain't lying. Perfect timing. I want to see. Let's talk brackets, man. I don't know which one of y'all want to go first, but
yeah, D, you go first.
Yeah. Dino, how's your bracket shaping up?
So my top 4, I got Oregon, Georgia, SMU, Arizona State.
Okay.
And then 5 through 8, I got Notre Dame, Ohio State, Texas, Tennessee.
Okay.
And then I got Penn State, Indiana, South Carolina, UNLV. That's my 12.
So Bama is out.
Bama's out. Bama and Miami were
Bama
two that I could put out of that.
Out. Okay.
I just think with the hot streak South Carolina's on, 6-game winning streak, 4 top 25 wins. I think that's what puts them ahead.
Snubbed against LSU. Yeah, South Carolina should be in my estimation. Nino, talk to me.
My 4 is the same exact order as Dino.
Just Texas instead of Georgia?
Yeah. Texas at 2 instead of Georgia. Then it's, Arizona State. I miss SMU, Arizona State. See, this is where it gets kind of fishy.
I'm interested to hear where Nino's about to go.
So am I. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry.
Hey, Brian, we got a lot of love for you, bro. But we stick with our takes around.
Brian, so my thought is, I think UNLV beats them in the game in the Mountain West Championship, right? Which would put them as a higher seed than Boise, and Arizona State would win the Big 12, which would make them a higher seed than Boise, which kind of puts Boise on the outside looking in. No disrespect, you had a great year. But that's just how I felt. But I've been consistent the whole way.
Yeah.
It's not like I just changed. See, this is where it gets kind of, because this 5-6 seed is where everything kind of gets.
That's where I struggled as well.
Because I hate this team. I hate them. I said they don't belong here at all. But if we're going to be looking at,
that's a damn good question.
2 lost teams,
they would be the 4.
Why doesn't Notre Dame deserve the 5?
I have him as 5.
Yeah, he had him at 5.
Right? I don't think they'll be there because I think the committee is going to be like, So yes, we got to keep them in the playoff because they Notre Dame. But we might start a fire early. We put these guys at 5 off the rip.
I don't know.
What's funny is I had Ohio State staying there, but I think
I could totally see Ohio State.
I think Penn State. I think the committee. And if this game against Oregon is close, I don't think it will be. If it's close, I think Penn State could be the 5. I think Notre Dame would be 6. And then you have Ohio State at 7. Okay? Ohio State at 7. And that would give me South Carolina at 10. In that matchup, the 9-8 would be Georgia, Tennessee. And then it would be who's 11? Who'd you have in at 11?
I had South Carolina.
I said 10 because I think the 10 spot is. I've been saying it for weeks. I think the 10 spot is the guy they can play with.
Well, then at 10, I had Indiana, if that's
Alabama.
They were one of my fringe teams, I don't hate it.
Who's out on your bracket, Nino?
Indiana's out.
Indiana's out? Okay.
Indiana's out.
You've been consistent with that too.
Yeah, that would be 12. I think Alabama somehow, some way. And this the thing is, here's where I'm gonna go. If South Carolina makes it, I think Alabama kind of has to be in it. You lost Alabama.
I understand, but it's what have you done for me lately? And the last time.
No, it's not what have you done for me lately.
It 100% still is. The eye test as of lately still plays a huge factor. And what people are going to see is the shellacking, a shitty ass Oklahoma team.
Florida State, what have you done for me lately? Went 13-0.
What they did lately was get their quarterback injured, and that's why they didn't make it.
They still won.
They were 13-0 because of Jordan Travis.
Agreed, but they won that game
Hey, there was people saying if Quinn can't play in the conference championship, Texas.
That would happen. Archman is too much of a name. He's too
I'm just
much.
saying, there were still people saying that, like. But no, I agree. Arch.
So 1 Oregon, 2 Texas, 3 SMU, 4 Arizona State. I'd go 5 Penn, 6 Ohio, 7 Notre Dame, 8 Georgia, Tennessee at 9, South Carolina. Ready? Alabama at 10, South Carolina 11, and then UNLV at 12.
Hey, I have a cosmetic question for you all.
Mm-hmm.
If Penn State somehow does beat Oregon, who's the number 1 overall ranked team? And let's say Texas wins.
Oregon.
Texas. No, he said
no. I'm saying if Penn State beats Oregon in the conference championship,
SEC champion.
So the SEC champion.
If it's Texas.
If it's Texas, would be the number 1 overall ranked team.
What if Georgia beats Texas? Oregon's still number 1.
If Penn State wins.
If Penn State, yeah, we're just talking cosmetically.
Penn State wins and Georgia beats Texas, Oregon's still number 1. They'd be only 1 lost team, right? How would you take them out of the number 1 spot?
Penn State would only have 1 loss.
Penn State would only have 1 loss as well.
And they won their conference champion.
Oh, all right, yeah.
So
is there a possibility of Penn State being
they have to win
number 1 overall seed?
Yeah, he's saying if they win,
then yes. Well, if they win, then they would be number 1 no matter what. So they would have to.
Yeah,
they'd have to be.
I would.
Unless Texas blows out Georgia.
Yeah,
that would be the only way Penn State is not number 1. I don't see that happening either. But I'm just saying that would be the only way Penn State wouldn't be number 1. All right, should we do it? The dark horses?
Yeah, let's do dark horses.
I got 2.
Who your dark horses?
Well, first off, I'm going to say I think Oregon wins the whole thing.
Okay.
Because I know that was part of the question.
Mm-hmm.
My dark horses, I'm going to go SMU. I'm going to go Notre Dame.
Notre Dame?
Yep. Their defense is just clicking.
They're growing. Their
defense is starting to become nasty.
Yeah.
And Riley Leonard can pass, finally.
Arizona
My
State.
only thing is Jeremiah Love is injured. That's my only would be my only concern.
Jumper.
Yeah.
Arizona State. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's my super dark horse. Tennessee, baby.
Ooh.
No.
I've been hearing no. I've been hearing no. I've been hearing no. I've been hearing no. And the motherfuckers just keep winning.
That's true.
They just keep winning.
That's
and
true.
Nico keeps getting better. Nico keeps getting better.
And he had that performance you were talking about too.
You want to go down a super dark horse? I mean, the way South Carolina's defense is playing too, they can make a deep run.
Oh, Alan agrees with you with Tennessee. With Tennessee, yeah. Penn State is my dark horse. I think Penn State.
That's not a dark horse. That's top 4, bro. That's not a dark horse.
I don't trust the offense to make a run.
You don't trust the offense? I don't think anybody has them winning. You know what I'm saying? Other than the
only way I could see Penn State.
I bet you about 100% of people in Pennsylvania do.
Yeah. Other than
Trubla, or however you say his last name, plays more. That's the only way the backup quarterback with the P last name.
Prabula?
Yeah.
Prabula?
If he plays more than Aller, because I think he could be electric running, which would open up the gates for Singleton and Allen.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to do this again. I did it last year. We'll do it one more time. Because I don't understand why people just don't. 71.6%, 2,700 yards, and an 18-5 touchdown interception ratio. Why would you play the other guy?
Oh, against Aller?
Yes.
All right.
Talk to me like I'm 5, because I need to understand this. Who has 5 rushing touchdowns and 225 yards on the ground on 70 attempts. Why would he even play if Drew Aller is breathing air?
Because let's see, against anybody decent he's played, his passing percentage is less or right around 60%.
Who?
Allers.
Was that one game? Because he's 70 on the year.
He may be 70, but that's against Minnesota. That's against Maryland.
Oh,
you want to go down this route, homie?
Do
we really want to
Is this real or is this cap?
What?
Are you being real?
No, you see the chat. Hey, Dino, you not him like that, dog.
Wow.
Hey.
10-year deal? There's no way they're giving a Rich Rod. Really?
Evan, is there money out there? Is there a money number?
Yo, I would love to see Rich Rod back in Morgantown. I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I don't see anything yet, but
he said Jacksonville State beat writers. You know, Moon may have a beat on
55 million? No way, bro. What is he, Nick Saban?
That's got to make him one of the highest paid coaches in the country.
It's the highest. It would be the highest, right?
Not the highest, but damn.
Highest paid.
Wow, dude.
What? Wow. Bring him back.
So that would only be what? 5.5 a year?
Yeah, 5.5 a year, which will put him somewhere, I think, around like 11 or 12.
I'm reading right now. Rich Rodriguez has emerged as a top candidate for Wisconsin's offensive coordinator job.
Wisconsin offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Longo's out.
As of October, that would make him the 40th highest paid coach.
40th.
Which I mean,
I don't see anything. I'm not saying
Evan, if that's serious, Jimbo
I'm searching everywhere, and I don't see
Jimbo
anything.
He said that's what the beat writers down at Jacksonville State are saying.
No, that's toxic. Keep Jimbo off any side.
Yeah. He don't need to be called up.
See, that right there makes me think that that's just
right.
Beat writers trying to make cap and get things popping off.
Tony,
back to my Drew Aller.
Yeah. Let's get back to that.
Where's the bad game, bro? So 65% is bad now?
It's not good in today's football,
bro. What? Yeah. Do you want to go down bring up your boy Shadori?
All right.
He called him Shadori.
If there's more than 3 games at 60%, the conversation is done. Anything in 60, bro. Anything.
All right. Let me look.
I got 60% against Ohio State. That's not bad. I mean, they didn't throw any touchdowns, but 60% against Ohio State.
All right, here we go. 82.9% against Oklahoma State, 79.3 against Kansas, 73 against Utah, 69.8 against Texas Tech.
I think that's good.
83% against Cincinnati. Should I continue?
Yeah, keep going. I want to see how many 60s there are, though. Just tell me how many 60s, because if there's more than that one, he's not a good quarterback.
There's two.
He has 1, 2, 3, 5. So he has 3 more. I got it on the screen. He's got a 90%.
I didn't see the 69.7 or the other 69.8.
69.8. How about the 89.5 against Purdue, right?
It's Purdue. It's Purdue.
You said Cincinnati, homie. How do you?
Cincinnati is a better team than Purdue.
By what? Hairs? Cutting hairs? Offensively? Let's talk defense, bro.
All right. Let's look.
Minnesota was in how many games this year against teams they shouldn't have been in? 75%, 78% against Wisconsin. These are all Big Ten teams, by the way, right? Just making sure I'm on the same page.
Yeah. Okay. Where's the fucking defense?
71 against Illinois.
Total defense. All right.
He's got 5 picks on the year. Brian, I understand that comes to how many picks at 65. He's got 5 on the year. Total. One game he threw 3. That was against USC. So that means he's been pretty freaking good all season.
They do two last year, I think, right?
Yeah.
26-2. Wow.
Purdue, 124th to 85th for Cincinnati.
Okay.
I don't think that's hairs. I don't think that's hairs, though.
What about Minnesota? But to tell me that a guy who's had 5 games at 60, 1 game at 60, every other game was above 65, bro. To say that that's not good, I can't get on board with that.
Shador had 1 game at 60. Okay. He had 2 games. 61 was the bottoms.
So he's no good, right?
No, those were shitty games. Those were shitty games. I'll admit it.
If we went down the top,
But he also has games that are 85% completion.
He had 89, bro. It was 90%.
Against who? Purdue? Are we going back to Purdue's defense? Are we going back to Purdue's defense? You know I love you, but you cannot die on Purdue's defense.
Where was his 60% for Colorado? Where was his 60%? Because if that was against a shitty team, bro, conversation over.
All right, let's look.
My dog is
number 2 in the country.
Nebraska.
Number 2 quarterback in the country had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games at under 70%. Cam Ward, 8. Heisman candidate, 8. He sucks. I'm just going by what you said, though. If you're going to tell me that 60% completion rate is terrible, shit. Hey.
What was Cam Ward's worst completion percentage?
61.
Okay, that's the same with
against Duke.
Yeah, that's a garbage-ass game.
Heisman candidate.
Not mine.
62 against Florida State. 63 against Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, we all know how that game should have gone.
But he was 62%, bro. He's number 2 in the country.
Not my number 2 in the country.
Statistically number 2 in the country. You can't deny that. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. He's number 2 in the country. Numbers. But he's a shitty quarterback because he only threw
completion percentage?
67.4. Terrible.
In today's day and age, when there are quarterbacks who have 70+ completion percentage, anything in the 60s is garbage.
Bro, look at the top 15 quarterbacks.
Look at the goddamn NFL. Look at the goddamn NFL.
Who's at 70? Who's at 70? Nobody. None. None ya. By the way, this is CFB Nation, not NFL Nation.
I understand who we are. But in today's day and age, 60s is not good enough as a completion percentage. In a pass-happy offense that 95% of college football is, 60 is not good enough. You have
Josh Allen 70. Sucks then. 64% of the NFL.
There's always been conversations where Josh Allen's completion percentage is not high enough.
Well, let's bring up who's the best quarterback in the game this year?
Joe Burrow.
He's the best quarterback? Better than Lamar
Numbers
Jackson?
don't lie, according to you. Numbers don't lie, right?
Let's bring up Joey Burrow. Joey Burrow.
Oh, man.
The best quarterback in the league, 67.7, sucks.
Right. Okay, fine. Baker Mayfield, 70+. Jared Goff, 71.8. Tua, 74.5.
Tua played half a season, bro. Doesn't count.
Jared Goff.
Okay, so there's 3. So the rest of the quarterbacks suck. This is what I'm trying to say, bro. You're taking an outlier and making it a standard.
In today's offense, you have to have 70+ as a good percentage.
Take that statement and go look back at every Super Bowl in the last 10 years, and you tell me if the quarterback at the end of the season was above 70. Because I bet you it wasn't.
I'll get back to you next Monday.
All right, that's fine.
100%.
And this is all love, bro.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I can't get on that. If you're under 70, you're not a good quarterback.
My mom's favorite episodes are episodes when we're arguing. She loved it when Nino and Boo was going at it last week. She's gonna love this segment. Shout out to Mama. She threw down for Thanksgiving. She always got to cook 2 meals because your boy is vegan. But wow, I probably agree with probably 99.9. I think me and D now think a lot alike. There's probably only a few things that don't agree with him with the completion percentage. And that is really hard to do, even at the collegiate level. Hell, at the high school level, that's really hard to do.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right, fellas.
I'll die on that hill.
Send us home, KT.
I don't even know what to say. I love this show. I can't
wait.
Yes, sir. Today I am the governor of college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. Downtown Nino Brown.